Hi, welcome. My name is Parsa, and today I'll be showing you my project, which is about a website. It's a point of sale system that helps a business, a clothing business really, to manage employees who do sales. So, so the point is really where an employee can come in, make a sale, or do a return from a customer and basically make new transactions or modify old transactions. And the customer buys products and returns those products. So here we can see our homepage, which is Hello World. Well, this is just to say that it works. I didn't modify it really. This is just to show our links here, all of the navigation page, right? Where we can see login, which we will get to eventually, new transaction, when we make the new transaction as an employee, where we can check the transactions already done by everyone inside this fake company and all the products done. So, and of course, there's also a login. Well, here I was supposed to put user or employee guidelines on how to operate the application, but because of school and deadlines and all, I didn't get to do it. At least I got to do the um, the actual documentation for programming. But now let's say that I'm an employee and I want to say check out transactions. Oh, well, now it says that you must be signed in to access this page. So what's wrong here is that I'm actually not logged in. If I'm not logged in, I can't see transactions, nor the products, nor make any new transactions. I will be redirected to the login page. So here I can put an employee number, which is kind of like a username for the employees, and the password. So I already have my account saved up for this. By the way, note that this is a very bad password. This is something I need to update with this website, that it has to get some minimum requirements for password when we register. Right? It has to be maybe 12 characters long, or maybe it has some special characters. It needs to be capitalized. Well, let's say that we don't have an account, right? And we try to log in with some random account that doesn't make sense. It's just gibberish. And let's try to log in. Nope. It says invalid employee number or password. It says invalid employee number or password anytime. So don't have an account, register here. That's where we have to click to register. So, and this is the register page where there's also the notes where it says what are the requirements and how does the database filter out bad responses and good um, good attributes. So first name, let's say I'm just making some fake person account, like John Doe, right? An employee number can be anything. Let's say it can be so mine is 212520044, so it could be 21 of 3520044. I don't know. And here we could put some random email as long as it ends by @gmail.com. So another point of like improvement is to check if this email actually exists. Maybe in Google databases for Gmail, Yahoo databases for Yahoo, and so on. So let's say some random um, email, like so John Doe at gmail.com. And the database, fine, it would work fine, really. The thing is that it must end with an at followed by the main, right? So it has to have at least that at something.com, right? As I put in the notes. And then we have to put any phone number. It has to start with 514 because of my region. So 514, let's say 1111111. And password, let's put some password. Let's say the password is monkey, which is apparently a very common password. And confirm password, which actually doesn't confirm it. So that's just alert. It's just some random parameter to fill out. But that's the point of improvement. So nice. We have John Doe in our database. Everything registered fine. So now we can put John Doe's employee number, which 1352044. Yeah. So and then the password was monkey, of course. And nice, sweet. We logged in. So everything is well and working. And this is the new transaction page where we make new transactions. But first, before we do a new transaction, let's check the transactions page and the products page. So let's check out the transactions page where we can see all the transactions that were done before, right? All in history. And we can sort them by the transaction. So transactions, really the parameters are the transaction number, right? The employee number, meaning the number of the employee who was in charge of that transaction. Last transaction number and last employee number. So these two are there for a return because in order to do a return, you need to track the transaction where that item that you're returning took place. So, for example, if I'm returning an item, the cashier, the employee has to ask, where's the receipt? And they put the transaction number and see if the product even exists inside that transaction. And they can also find the employee number associated with that transaction, which is the last transaction. And that way, we can deduct the sales from that employee, poor employee. And of course, the dates and the units. And these are the units of how many products were sold. And if you click on them, these are like links. You click on them, you see, the product number. It's kind of like the with you know it shows you that these are the products only for the transaction number. Well, this one. I don't know what this is. I think million. I don't know. But yeah, so let's go. So that's that, and we can see the sales, returns, and total. So the total, of course, is just sales minus the returns. And that's that. And we can sort through it, but this is a relatively short list because these are just test cases that I needed myself, right? They're not fake data, well, technically, but yeah. So now let's go check out products. So products, we have, 30 products that I inserted. They're fake products, just fake randomly generated data. And they have all the product numbers, price, of course, and if they're in stock. It says is available, but I think in stock is a better name. And the rest are just random descriptive facts, right? What's the type? What's the size? What's the pack, right? And what really works here with this search is that you can search any, for example, any number that you have a problem with. For example, let's say you have a problem with product number, let's say uh, 1,000,010, right? And you find it and you see what's wrong with it. Is it actually available? And whatnot. And that's it. And you can also search, of course, the price and so on and so on. And you can also go through it or show all of the this I made it with the help of JavaScript developers before me. This was just a reusable part that I could get from, luckily. Yeah, so the main part of the application, the most important part is this. New transaction, what's really important is it's the place where you can actually buy, return items, and finally, complete the transaction with the checkout button. So let's say we want to put a product. Well, I don't know the products by heart, their numbers. So let's just open a new link and see the product number. But let's say there's a customer that wants to buy 3 products, like starting from this number, like these 3 first ones. So let's put it, and the customer wants to buy it. Oh, hmm. Oh, sorry. Um, yeah, so actually that's part of the error handling. I thought the program made an error, but it was me. So that's actually good. Is that this product is actually not available. The 0 stands for not available, no, and 1 stands for it is available. So if it's not available, then you can't buy something that's not in stock, right? Technically, it's not ours anymore. You can't buy something twice. So, and that's why it says product not found. You could return it though, but we'll get to that later. Let's say this customer just wants to buy a million and one. So buys it, and the product is there. Nice. So let's say they want another one, and they buy some other thing as well. So you see they have three items, and let's say they're really rich. They want to buy a lot of stuff, and they got all of these items. But then let's say throughout the whole thing, they realize that they don't actually have that much money, and they want to remove some items that they don't want. For example, food. So they don't like it, remove it, or just some other thing that we don't know what it is really. Remove it. So that's how you remove it. It's nice. And finally, they can check it out, like buy it, and yeah, that's it. So here, really, this is a kind of illusion. Since I don't really know the hardware to make you know, a cash register system or like an iris machine, how to connect the software with it. Well, I just said that, how are they paying with it, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, whatever. But this really, I haven't stored the method of payment in the database. Like this is just kind of an illusion. I just put it there because it's nice to have. And you can save any method, save, and the transaction is completed. One bad thing about my application for now is that we can't see the success. Technically, I was trying to make a success pop-up here that would show that, oh, yes, we actually completed the transaction. But no. However, you can still see your transaction by checking the transaction number. So, yeah. So you can see this is the latest transaction, million and three. And here we can see the employee number is 213-52044, which is, by the way, different from 212-52044. Just to let you know. So, so that's the employee number, and we can see the date, which is 20, which is well, right, the date where I'm shooting this video, and the units sold, and so on and so on. But let's say that someone wants to do a return, right? So in that case, let's pretend to be another employee. Let's pretend to be the employee with the number 212-52044. So this logout page also, I should have put a success message saying you successfully logged out, right? Now let's put my, technically it's the name is Parsa, so I'm Parsa, so my account. So here, let's say that that same product, by the way, let us refresh. Um, that product that was before available, you see, after the transaction is done, now it's unavailable. It's not available anymore, all these two. So uh, what we can do is, let's say hypothetically in this situation, that the previous employee that I was technically role-playing as, let's say, he's gone, and the new employee takes care of the return for the old employee. So so I'm putting the product number, and I see, oh, I have to return this item, for instance. Let's just copy paste it, and yeah, okay. So the thing is, the first time I put return, I have to put the transaction number associated with that item. Well, technically, the situation, customer has to provide you the receipts and show the transaction number on the receipt. But I kind of forgot already the transaction number. So what we're gonna do is just check the transactions and see what was the latest. Oh, it was this one. Got it. So it was in that one, and we put that. So return. We put the transaction number and save. And here it says successfully entered. But we could enter some other transactions. But for now this will work. So now that we got the transaction number, we can actually return it, and it works. It recognizes that this product was in fact bought at that transaction. and it puts a negative to indicate that, and maybe the customer wants to return the other one too, and buy some other thing with it. The $79 t-shirt. And they check out, and let's say they pay with cash. And voila, so we're done with this. Transactions, and we see now the newest transaction. Transaction number, let's just say 4, with 212522044 as the employee number, and we can see the last transaction number, which was the previous one. And this points to this transaction. And because of that, what was the employee number associated with this transaction? It was in fact 213522044, which you can see here. And that makes it so that when an employee later checks on their sale, or or checks their number here, they can see which were the products, or sorry, which were the transactions where they lost money, technically. They lost commission, if, well, of course, they get commission, right? So that's a better way of tracking sales rather than an employee just putting them their sales in an Excel sheet or whatnot. So that is essentially it for my application. And finally, whenever we're done doing a transaction and whatnot, we can also log out. So now let's talk about some things I could, of course, improve. I could definitely improve how my website looks. Well, actually, let's log that in. So first of all, login, I could put forgot password, right? I happen to learn the implementation of forgetting password. For example, if someone forget a password, well, the the application or the company has to send an email to the user slash employee.
I haven't done that here. So that is the next step to do. Overall, well, everything, it's a bit boring, you could say. I could do some styling, and I could see what I can improve as styling. But this, it's a very bland, mostly white page, just for business. And the most interesting stuff is just a bunch of tables. But yeah, and for the logout, well, also as I said, no success message. Yeah, so that's about it. And thanks for watching this video. If you're more interested about my future projects, please hit the like button, subscribe, or leave a comment out for the algorithm to help. And yeah, thank you very much, and have a great day.